There we go, Christofer versus Lorenz, and as you can see up there in the deck title, we have found an undefeated Kewl Tune duelist. And John Alexi, I know you are quite the fan of the deck, right? You've experienced a lot with it. Wait, what was that hand gesture though? I assume it was just the main phase that was entered, and it will be Christofer who goes first here. So we will first see from the fusion deck in the room, which is the Lunar Light strategy. Second place, World Championship finisher, of course, where it was in the hands of Tom Kleinegräber, but it's now Christofer who is going to present the deck to us.
And the Lunar Light strategy, I really like it, to be honest, because in this format, yes, this is not the best deck, but this is one of the sleeper in this meta game. You still have such a strong win condition, being able to special summon those two big monsters, those two like dancers, and a lot of decks in the format, they don't have a solution to try to out them. You have to get something in the side deck, like some Kaijus, for example, or Lava Golem, which has seen so much more plays trying to out some threats, and especially those Liga Dancers. One thing though is very interesting is that the Kewl Tune strategy plays usually a lot of end interactions, so we might see Lorenz being able to stop Christofer in his tracks.
Let's see whether that will be possible, but Christofer for sure already had the perfect discard there for the Serenade dance, so he's grooving, he's dancing, and I mean he's also undefeated of course so far in the tournament, so certainly a sign of him being successful. And I mean, when we're going through the new options in the format, the branded Draco Tail deck, it used to play Titanic Clad, which wasn't out to the Liger. And so now with all the new cards that are coming into the extra deck though recently, there oftentimes is not space for that anymore, so it doesn't really have an out to Liger Dancer usually.
But there's some more spice being added to that deck, and you can also decide to run the Magistus cards. You can play the Spectre package, and that actually has an in-engine out by summoning the Synchro monster, equipping it with a fusion monster card, so fusion effects can't be activated by the opposing duelist, which targets the player, and then you can boost your attack and run over it.
Yeah, okay, that's very cool.
But I agree, the classic Draco Tail branded version that is running around now a lot.
And to add up on that, because we have seen the metagame breakdown, the second most represented deck, in fact, is Radiant Typhoon, and I think that deck also just naturally doesn't have an out to also the Liger Dancer, so pretty much a pretty solid meta call here on Christofer's end, and maybe we will see Lunar Light doing very, very, very well in this weekend.
The good thing for Radiant Typhoon is that with Lava Golems, they have easy outs, or actually also the severe mode of the Winged Dragon of Ra, because your normal summon is not the most important thing for you.
Absolutely, but the problem is that nowadays people are just aware that Lava Golem is played in almost every single side of the Radiant Typhoon. So what you do is that you try to do a loop where you end on only one monster, one Liga Dancer, and then, I mean, your opponent is not able to out it with the Lava Golem.
Oh, no hesitation from Lorenz here. Polymerization activated, immediately answered by one of the less popular Psy frames. It definitely always was the main show for Gamma, but this, of course, is Delta being activated here onto the spell card.
And I think he's one of the cool ones, to be honest. I really love Delta. I really love Delta.
You mean one of the cool ones?
One of the cool ones. And now we are going to special summon the driver, of course, from the deck and not from the hand, which is some good news. Usually it comes out of the hand.
But yeah,
the good thing about the Kewl Tune strategy is that you are able to play some very strong cards like the Psy Frame Gear, Delta and Gamma. Now we're going to see if Christofer has something to just keep playing. I think he might be able to keep playing, but maybe Lorenz has some more hand interaction to stop that. We know that there are some Ash Blossom usually, something like Ghost Bell can also be used. And might be very strong.
Yeah. But at this point you have 3 monsters on the field already, bunch of cards in hand still. How impactful are these hand traps going to be? The Yellow Marten is going to be negated here. So 2 cards in a row being negated from Lorenz. He said this is the choke point for your deck. This is where it can stop you from playing completely. But is that the case?
I mean, yeah, usually you use the Ghost Bell on the fusion effect because you try to prevent your opponent from banishing from the graveyard. We chose to use it here preemptively. Will it be enough or not?
I mean, worst case scenario, we have 2 level 4 monsters, turn that into a Dugaris and just go ahead and draw 2 more cards. But wait, hold on, we're in the end phase, there's no way. There is no way Christofer cannot do anything with all of those monsters on the field and passes it over to Lorenz.
That's just a bunch of birdies here on the field because you're locked out of the extra deck. You use Silverhound immediately.
Of course.
So yeah, you're
and now the show starts, ladies and gentlemen. The Kewl Tunes are out, and we're starting things off here with, of course, the spell card Synchro Overtake. Oh yeah, read it. Yep.
So basically, this is literally deployment fusion. But for the synchro monsters, you reveal a monster from your extra deck and you can special summon one of the materials which are stated on the card. So it will be either Mix or for the Remix or the Rico.
That is just a phenomenal extender here. But of course, Kaleido was used to send a Leo Dancer to the graveyard, and Silverhound is not only a starter but also an interruption, so we got to negate that.
We've got the Synchro, and the Synchro is a very good card. Not only you can activate this card once, but twice per turn, which is something very special in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta game.
Oh yeah.
And you can add a Kewl Tune monster from your deck to the hand. Here we are going to add the main starter, the Kewl Tune Q, which is so good going first, a little bit worse going second. But in that situation, in that case, since there is not any threat on the opponent's field, you can just literally take this card and special summon something from the deck. Usually what you special summon is the Red Nova, such a good card. But we'll see what's going to be the following.
Okay, we use the effect now immediately of Q. And it feels like Christofer doesn't have a clue what's going on here from Loren's side, as we gotta say Kewl Tune is one of the less represented decks in the room.
Yeah.
Actually, Lunalight has crippled up a little bit because it is now represented even more than Malice in the tournament at the moment. So we are actually seeing quite a bit of it and people making that meta decision to bring it. But we do not see that much of the Kewl Tune deck.
And here this is very interesting because we chose to special summon the Rico out of the deck while we saw that Red Nova was played. Very interesting decision from Lorenz. Grabbing here the Kewl Tune mix with the Rico. I really love all those interactions. The fact that you can use monsters from the hand to synchro summon, and the fact that, you know, it's like you get the Rico and then you get the remix, then you get the mix, and everything just works together very well.
Well, I mean, Christofer was starting the dance
Look
quite
at that.
obviously with the
Look
7-8
at
dance,
that.
but now the tune is really going for Lorenz on the upper end.
And I was thinking for 1 second, what card is this? What Kewl Tune card? But this is the Altart of Effect Veiler that was used for this.
Of course.
I
do remember that one. I pulled that one.
I know, I was with you. I was
And
so happy for you.
That's a very good thing
can
with
tell.
Kewl Tune, is that you are able to use your hand interactions. For example, the Delta that we saw earlier, but also the Effect Veiler right now. You can use them because they are tuners, so you can use them from the hand, which means that even going first, the Delta is not a card that you cannot use. You can use it during your combo. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, for the newer people that are not so familiar with Kewl Tune, the general concept, of course, of synchro summoning is using a tuner and a non-tuner. But explain to us how the Kewl Tune deck gets around that, because they are not doing it the usual way, because I think for this, we just use 2 tuners, technically.
Absolutely, and that's the cool thing about Kewl Tune, is that you can use 2 tuners, one from your field, and you can even use tuners from your hand if they are used as a synchro material. So here we saw that Effect Value, which is the second tuner, was used from the hand because you do not require specifically some Kewl Tune monsters. So that's pretty cool, and that's a mechanic that I really like. It allows you to just rely on something else that's some body presence.
Definitely. So Lorenz is just able to play through this. Is Kewl Tune a deck that is able to get 8,000 points of damage in one turn, or is it a deck that is struggling with that more?
No, to be honest, I mean, you kind of struggle to end the game very fast, so I don't think Lorenz will be able to end the game, but he will put so much threats on the field that it's going to be very hard for Christofer to win the game on the next turn, especially considering the fact that, thanks to Q, he checked the top deck, and we saw that it was a pro.
I mean, there's plenty of ways to win a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You can do it fast, you can also take your sweet time, and honestly, I also love the artworks on these cards. This looks like such a cool club. Basti, you're from Berlin. So do you think if you turn up with a Kewl Tune deck, you get into some famous party places?
Surely you do. I mean, you gotta also then get the tune going. You have to sing in front of the location then. But besides that, they're definitely an easy entry ticket to all kind of locations.
And I mean, you could see that we had a second normal summon. So for those who are not familiar with the Kewl Tune deck, the field spell allow you to normal summon another tuner in addition to your usual normal summon. So that's what we did by normal summoning the mix, which let us add another name to the hand. So that's pretty interesting. And on top of that, you talked about the fact that we could end the game maybe with the deck. And the field spell helps you with that because it allows you to get some more attack points to your boss monster, the big Loudness War.
I mean, you're saying boss monster, but it's a level 6 monster. You don't see that very often. Some rank 6 monsters can count as...
It's very loud.
It is very loud.
Loudness War also is like a cool interruption on the opposing turn because it can just steal the effects of the graveyard Kewl Tune monsters that have the effects that trigger when they are getting synchro summoned off.
Yeah.
So, or used as synchro material. So you actually get to pop, you get to look at the extra deck or banish something randomly from the extra deck and then see what your opponent might be playing. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, it almost feels like Lorenz is going first as he just gets to do whatever he likes here. And I mean, one thing about the Lunar Light deck is when it goes first, it tries to bring out Liger Dancer and win that way, so it has a very easy game plan. And going second, it is a deck that is more so relying on field-breaking cards. Like we see Book of Eclipse oftentimes in the deck. We see, of course, cards like Forbidden Droplet. And I don't think there's many hand interactions. Yeah,
Heavy Polymerization is
even
such
better.
a good card. And during this turn 3, it might be a decisive card.
Oh, and we took a Perfume Dancer out. That might actually be helpful because this one actually keeps you in your combos, especially when you're low on resources. Adds a Perfume from the deck to the hand. Not anymore, it won't. Also, it's another Lunar Light name that is out of the extra deck because you need to send a Lunar Light fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard in order to activate the effect of Liger Dancer.
Right, let's see, Christofer. Looks like we are trying to add back Polymerization. Oh! Only the Polymerization, as it seems. What is next here on this end? Can Lorenz just keep on going with the groove here? That Kewl Tune deck, honestly, it looks so impressive right now. But that is only the battle phase. So as you were already kind of suggesting, not the best maybe at knocking down the life point total in one go.
Almost. Oh, no, we almost got him. Sure.
Leo never was that great with math, so
that is true.
But we set up something very interesting for the next turn because the remix that you can see right now on the field is something that can act as an interaction on the opponent's turn. It is not an interaction by itself, but during the opponent's turn you can literally just tribute it and special summon a tuner from your graveyard and add another one to your hand. So you can use it to special summon some Kewl Tune monsters or to add back some hand interactions.
Ooh, that's very strong. But also, very important question here. With the Kewl Tune remix, you can synchro summon on your opponent's turn as well as an interruption. Is there a chance, is there a way to get into some out-of-engine synchro summons? Because I feel like we've used up some of the Kewl Tune cards yet. Can we go into something bigger there?
Absolutely, you have the ability to go into the starters, for example. The starters, which is so important. Of course, you need some non-tuners, so you will need something like, for example, Driver, which is a non-tuner. But apart from that...
That one's in banishment right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very much.
So you're telling me you want to hard draw the Driver?
I mean, no, you don't want that. But you want to use the Gamma or the Delta on the opponent's turn, or on your turn, for example, on the Purulia, which would be activated in the draw phase, and all of a sudden you use them. You make Synchro Starter Dragon, and Exile Synchron just revive the level 2 and makes a level 10. So sometimes you play Starters cards, or you can play something like a Dispatter or cards like that.
Dispatter seems reasonable to me, but we, I think, have activated the Multi-Charming Purulia in the draw phase on Christofer's end. Maybe it is about a Nibiru there that could possibly come. I don't really know what else it would be.
Or alternatively, you don't really know what is going on with your opponent's deck, and you're like, hey, maybe you play some cards that come from that. I'm not doing anything with this card anyway, so maybe I can get a draw, a Destiny draw that looks like Christofer needs in this situation. Lorenz is really well set up with all of those cards in the graveyard. You have the field spell for follow-up.
Okay, I think immediately on the gold, Leo, we want to use the effect of Loudness War, trying to negate it. And that works.
It's so loud right now, dude.
It does work.
And we destroy it thanks to the effect of Mix, which was banished by the Loudness War.
Yeah.
And one thing which is pretty cool, by the way, playing this pattern, is that you can literally protect yourself from Nibiru. Let's think about it. If someone activates a Purulia in draw phase, you gamma it. Then you go into Axel Synchron, you go into this pattern, and all of a sudden, if you banish something from your opponent's deck or extra deck, for example with Q or with Clip, then you are protected. You have a negate.
However, I think if you, with any deck, if you gamma a draw phase Purulia, I think you're in a decent spot.
Yeah,
I think that's not exclusive to the Kewl Tunes.
No, definitely not. But Christofer still now able to activate the graveyard effect of Yellow Martin, getting himself the Lunar Light Fusion. And I mean, our polymerization was denied, but is there any way to stop the second try of getting a fusion monster onto the field? I do not really know.
But what are you going to summon out? Because the Perfume Dancer, it's gone.
But we are running 2 Perfume Dancer at
Really?
least.
Oh, that's...
Of course, yeah.
Well, then that's not that great of a hit.
Yeah. Hitting both.
I mean,
would have been
it depends.
nice.
It depends. Maybe you can use the effect of Clip during the opponent's turn and try to hit the second one, but that would be insanely lucky, to be honest.
That is true. I don't think you want to be relying on that.
No.
Okay.
Christofer is relying on much more consistent strategies there with trying to just somehow get out a Lunar Light Liger Dancer and then see what happens.
Shall find out. Is that the moment for Lunar Light Fusion? Lunar Light Tiger is already in the Pendulum Zone. It has done its trick. It has summoned back from the graveyard once. But as we all know, that card can easily be put back into the hand, then again be activated, and then can bring back more monsters from the graveyard. Back in the day, of course, I think the most popular combination was Zephyros actually bringing that card back into the hand.
And Yellow Martin, of course.
Yeah, that of course as well. But we are now sending another Silverhound into the graveyard.
And to be honest, I've got a feeling that Christofer is in a pretty good spot right now because there are so many resources while Lorenz has a limited amount of interactions.
Oh, Tiger King! Another old school card. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist has been called. And are we using the effect?
Oh, we can't, I guess?
Are we locked into Lunar Lights already?
I guess so.
Gotta be, yeah.
That makes this turn a lot tougher. Which effects do lock you? Silverhound, of course, does. But have we activated something else? Because it couldn't be Yellow Martin, right? Because that one was played in the Orcus deck as well, 2019, a lot.
I think it might have been the Kaleido Chick, but Kaleido Chick doesn't know.
It shouldn't.
It really shouldn't, but now polymerization. Okay, we cannot go fusion summon, so we cannot go exceed summon, so we go fusion summon instead. Perfume Dancer. Okay, we're trying to recycle that polymerization as well.
Are we Kewl Tunes or are we Dancers? What is going to happen next?
It's pretty hard for the Kewl Tune player right now because there are not a lot of stuff to try to interact with Christofer. And yeah, you might have banished one copy of the Perfume Dancer, but the second one is right there on the field, and that's no good news for you.
That is so strong. Do you at some point have the chance to just summon out a Liger Dancer randomly and then sit on it? Or is it going to still be a hard push? I don't know what the cards in hand are. I think we have used the Kaleido Chick as fusion material, so we get back the fusion.
We have already done that, yep. The fusion is back in hand.
Yep.
We also still have the Lunar Light fusion, so that looks good. But I think one crucial thing here so far in this game, Christofer has not had access to the Lunar Light Masquerade yet. So fusion summoning, he has to do it the old school way so far. He has to just use monsters on the field and in the hand, which can work. As we see, we have successfully finally brought out the first fusion monster. It's just so much more chill to also use cards from the graveyard, right?
But Kaleido Chick now is a Leo Dancer, so we can summon out the Liger Dancer. You need Masquerade sometimes if you don't have the Leo Dancer on field. But right now we have...
Trust Keep probably.
Must be, gotta be.
So we can't be locked.
Yeah.
Huh.
We must have missed something.
Okay, here comes... Which fusion do we use? Polymerization or Lunar Light fusion? Oh, first of all, the Perfume, okay. Oh, we bring back the Lunar Light Perfume Dancer. I mean, only fitting, right? Bringing back the Perfume Dancer with the Lunar Light Perfume to trigger the cross sheep here. That's massive.
Now, but we don't have the Leo Dancer on the field anymore. We have the Kaleido Chick. Can we use that effect again? I do not think that we have so many Leo dancers in our extra deck. Question is, can we do it? We have the Lunar Light Fusion as well. That is an option.
Can we make it happen? Christofer really thinking every move through, but it feels like he's getting there. But the one remaining thing that you always want to see as the Lunar Light player is still, and of course, the Liger Dancer, the most feared Lunar Light card of them all. And only when you get to summon out that so powerful boss monster, you kind of know that it is your game.
Yeah.
But so far, Christofer has not been able to do so.
I mean, the deck has a limited... Okay. So we use Kaleido Chick. Easy peasy.
Oh, Lunar Light Fusion. Okay, but there is a response. We are going to banish the effect Veiler. Will we be able to negate it? I feel like we are. Wait.
Ciao.
Is Christofer has conceded? That was enough from Lorenz side. We see the score go up 1-0 for Lorenz.
I didn't expect that at all. I saw that he was in such a good position, to be honest. I saw that there was almost nothing left on the side of the Kewl Tune strategy. But all of a sudden, 1-0 for the Kewl Tune.
One negate, and that was it. And Christofer also just so quickly realized, okay, when I cannot get my Liger Dancer onto the field, my deck is not as strong as I've built it. And therefore, this second game shall come next, and where I'm heavily trying to get that monster onto the field finally for the first time.
Lorenz is not going to go first there. Again, he won this game going second with the combination of Delta and Bell, which already surprised me because it looked like his opponent was still already in a good spot there.
Felt like it, but still in the end, it was him taking that first game. And I mean, Kewl Tune, when you have the ability to play so many hand interactions, due to the nature of the deck, you want to play all those tuners, it should naturally be somewhat decent going second, right? Because you just have the amount of cards to play going second in your deck.
Absolutely, and especially considering the fact that you have access to Delta, it's so good, to be honest, because Delta is able to negate a spell, literally, and you use a lot of spells to try to fuse. And when it is negated, it's so hard for the deck to try to just get back on track. On top of that, you've got access to so many hand interactions like Bell. We've seen that. We've seen some Veilers, which can sometimes feel weak in the format, in the meta game. But if you have enough of those hand interactions, I mean, at some point, you're just getting stopped.
Okay, so this is Lunar Light, which is a little lower down the list. Let's analyze Delta in the overall format right now. So, most represented deck, Draco Tail, branded. Surely you can find something to negate there with the Delta, right? Just go after a branded fusion or maybe also... Rahu Draco Tail actually not that great because then you can just activate another one. So because you're activating the... you're negating the activation, that can be a problem. The K2 though is pretty nice.
I mean, if your opponent goes first, the K2 is not that threatening. I think you would still probably do it. But the thing is... Most people don't even play Branded Fusion anymore, or some people, and it's not part of the regular combo anymore. If you start with Fallen of the White Dragon, you're actually locking yourself into Synchro. You're playing a Synchro combo, and that locks you out of Branded Fusion, more like that. And there, I think that Delta, I think if you see a Rahu, you Delta that.
Yeah, but then if they have another way to play, you just get hit with the second Rahu. So I don't even know how good Delta really is in that matchup,
But then you have the Ash Blossom, of course, because you play a lot of hand interactions.
Okay, fair. If we go down that route, sure. Against Radiant Typhon, I mean, that deck is all spell cards, so you will surely find something to use your Delta on. So
your draw phase visions you. Your opponent draw phase visions you. Draws 2 cards. Do you Delta that?
I Delta.
Probably.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think the deck has a little bit of a consistency problem, the Radiant Typhon deck, and therefore just trying to limit the chance that they have a combination of cards to play with is just pretty much what.
And you try to prevent them from special summoning the Crozea in draw phase so that you can hit them maybe with something like a draw on Lockbird. Yeah, could be great.
I agree.
Sounds like a good plan, honestly. Just draw Lockbirding your opponent, always quite good. Let's see if this card is going to have an impact in the second game. The duelists are ready, so let's go over to the table.
The players are ready right now. So the Kewl Tune is going to go second once again. Will the Lunar Light player, Christofer, be able to special summon the Liger Dancer? Because during the last game, we were not able to see the boss monster.
That's a surprise, everyone! we have decided to go second in Christofer's shoes.
Wow.
And that is quite the interesting decision. Yes, Lunar Light historically has been a pretty good deck at going second. With the addition of Liga Dancer, though, it usually has not been anymore. But Christofer, after that losing game 1, going first, he's like, yeah, let's not try that again. And in the end, it's Lorenz going first, who has the perfect start.
There a chance that we got it wrong and Christofer won the first game?
That's possible, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna...
Nah, I don't think so. This looks very accurate. I think Christofer actually, I saw the hand motion from Christofer kind of just indicating, yeah, you got to go first. Okay, Fallen the Virtues and Gold Leo are being revealed.
I think that you just banish one and put the other one at the bottom of the deck, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think that you want to have to face the Fallen the Virtues.
No, it's a really tough card to deal with sometimes, especially looking at Loren's hand right now.
It is at the bottom.
Too good.
It is at the bottom, of course, and this is the power of the queue. So right now we are going to see a very classic combo from the Kewl Tune player, special summoning the Red Nova, something that we could have done during the last game, but thanks to the Veiler in hand, we're able to perform a full combo without having access to the Red Nova. Special summoning the Rico, exactly, getting access to the quick play spell. So we are gonna just see if Lorenz wants to use it during its own turn or during the next turn, because it can be used as an interaction, which can be pretty cool sometimes.
Yeah, I think you try to keep it for the interaction, because right now it looks like your combo is just rolling. Doesn't necessarily need more extenders there.
And we can see some very good cards, to be honest, in Lorenz's hand. But one of them was specifically designed for going second.
The thing is, against Kewl Tune specifically, they are running so many tuner hand interactions, like Effect Veiler, maybe even Mourner and stuff like that. So sending that kind of a deck first feels so dangerous, right? Because, okay, other decks, they might be siding in all those Mold Charmies and stuff, but this deck, yeah, they probably are going to be some Mold Charmies as well, but they have so many other cards as well, which they can still back up their field with.
The thing is that they can also still work with Mold Charmies because they are non-tuners, so maybe if they build up a good enough field, they can use those level 4 non-tuners to make some out-of-engine synchro monsters.
I mean, you'd have to normal summon them, so that's a bit odd, to be honest, but maybe. The good thing for Lunalight is that Kewl Tune, I mean, the field is good, of course, and it does a lot of things, but it doesn't feel as oppressive as some other decks.
Oh, that's it! Christofer's turn! Yeah. Look, I mean, you said not that impressive, and Lorenz agrees. Okay. This is going to be the end field that he is providing here. And Christofer shall... Oh.
I think it's case in point, not point in case.
But wait.
Are we still doing something in...
We talked about Branded Fusion in the Draco Tail deck, but hello, there's a Branded Fusion in this Lunar Light deck instead.
And we cannot use something like Delta, so if we want to negate it, we need to have something like Ares on the field, which is not the case right now because Lorenz decided to go into a very conservative way, playing the remix. So the Branded Fusion will resolve.
I think this is our way. Oh, the new one, the Shackles. Zalon the Shackled Dragon comes out.
And that's a very good addition, but we've got the Rinbroom. The Rinbroom is such a good card. We usually know the in-graveyard effect, but the on-field effect is actually as good as the graveyard effect. Yep. It negates an extra deck monster, and it just sends back another card from the field to the hand. Yeah. You can use that on the opponent's cards, but you can also do that on your own cards. And we know that the Lunalight strategy likes to get back their own cards in hand. So we might see some use of that.
All right, so Lorenz now, of course, after that Synchro Summon was performed, wants to still activate his trigger effects there in the graveyard. And Christofer, it looks like Christofer has a healthy amount of spell cards in hand. And I mean, we saw them being on cards like, for example, the Fallen and the Virtuous, and that's just such an easy spot, like a card that can just go after the one thing you're uncertain of, like maybe just
breakers. Like droplet.
Huge too, though.
So now we get access to the in-graveyard effect of Rinbroom. Unfortunately, it's only usable during the opponent turn, but it might be some follow-up.
So did he send Fallen of Albas or Fallen of the White Dragon? Because
Fallen of Albas.
All right, yeah, that's much better if you send the Rindbrom to the graveyard. Just so next turn you can actually... I mean, actually, it doesn't really matter, right? You special summon out Fallen of the White Dragon, that summons out Ecclesia, and that's a quick effect as well. So I think in any
case, you get access to...
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw the Crawl by the Grave, which is activated right now.
I mean, to be fair, he's not even... You would expect him to maybe be on Mirror Jade, but he actually isn't, so...
Maybe it's just the Rindbrom Turbo.
It's the Rindbrom and then maybe the dragon that the Vase the
Oh,
Dortmund.
that's I think that's the better target
Yeah.
actually right now than the Mirror Jade Dragon, because you just take away 2 monsters from your opponent, get to manipulate their graveyard. And if it gets removed, you will find yourself a Fallen of the Virtuous.
Man, I mean, we all knew that Chronicles deck was strong, but like it had such a meta impact. It's crazy.
Yeah, the card truly is amazing, huh? The double banish of Golddeo is so tough as well. The deck barely gets to play with this engine. Christofer, of course, is in a good situation to play through the opponent's field, but you also still need to play with your own deck.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the deck. Slowly, little by little, you just take apart the deck of the opponent and you remove some key pieces of the strategy. For now, 2 Goldleos are banished. Maybe the third one will meet them there.
I'm sure Christofer doesn't want that, but maybe eventually you will have to live that situation.
The thing is, Golddeo is the best starter for the deck, but it is in no means a necessary combo piece. Sometimes decks do not work without a particular name or something, for example, like a Kaleido Chick. If you do not have that to send away the Leo Dancer, then it gets much tougher to actually summon out the Liger Dancer.
Okay, everybody at home, clip that, as we have used Kewl Tune clip there in the hand to synchro summon right from there. Go into Kewl Tune.
I think this is...
Is that RS? This is RS, right?
Yeah, this is RS. I think this is interesting because he wants to get access to the RS negate right now because he doesn't want something like heavy polymerization.
Okay, once again we hit the Perfume Dancer.
But the problem is that we cannot use then the effect of the Rico in the graveyard, and I think this is something which is really, really important.
Oh, heavy polymerization. That's heavy. That's quite the one to get through.
I think we negate that, right?
You have to negate that. Yeah, it forces the negate.
Yeah, it does. The Forbidden Drop that is already out, so we can't change that anymore, chain that anymore.
Do we have something else?
We have something,
Fallen of the Virtuous?
Yeah, it is Fallen of the Virtuous!
It is!
And of course, RS can only negate on the field, and as we're getting this in the graveyard with Fallen of the Virtuous here, it will not be able to be stopped anymore. Fusion summoning with both monsters from the hand, and of course a material from the extra deck, as that heavy polymerization allows us to... Oh, not only one though. Oh, we're combining.
It is like a dancer. We expected that. We wanted Christofer to finally special summon the Liger Dancer, and here it is on the field. It feels heartbreaking for Lorenz because he invested so much on the RS. He decided to do the synchro summon and to give up on the Rico's effect, but he didn't negate anything with the RS, and the heavy polymerization resolved.
And now Christofer is throwing a little bit of salsa on the dance floor on the feature match stage, because we are Liger dancing all the way into the next round, possibly. Liger Dancer is activating the effect, and Lorenz already says, here, I'm already halfway packing up my cards, because this is going to definitely resolve. I have nothing against this card. Luckily enough, Liger Dancer is not an OTK in itself. It has 3,800 attack points, can attack twice. That is, Basti, quick math.
Over 7,000, right?
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha.
Good. Hey, that wasn't a trap. I wanted to give you a moment to shine,
It always with you, really.
I know. But today is Valentine's Day. You know I want to show you my love.
Thank you.
That's
okay,
beautiful.
Fallen of the Virtuous in the end phase now, of course. That is why this combination of cards is so good. It always replaces itself. It has done the job, and it will be able to do the job again.
This is gonna be it, in my opinion. I don't see the Kewl Tune deck just try to get back in the game, because, I mean, you're gonna have something very, very, very hard to face. You're gonna have the Fallen Virtues. On top of that, you have the Liger Dancer, which is a very hard task to deal with.
Do you even have an out?
No.
Okay, in engine, Kewl Tune doesn't have an out. So let's see what Lorenz is going to try and do with the situation.
Okay, what you can do is just putting 2 Loudness War on the field, and then they are not being able to get destructed by card effects. But apart from that,
well, that's quite the unfortunate pickup there, because we must have drawn the Magnamut there, right? Otherwise, surely we would have used it on the Albion in the end phase or before the end phase, trying to make sure that the Fawn and the Virtus is not there anymore. But now we have to do it on our own turn.
I mean, the thing is, the Liga Dancer can still attack over the loudness walls,
Yeah,
right?
he can.
All right, because otherwise I would have said, hey, you could
I
just...
told you, there is no out.
Yeah.
This is something like...
You could have stalled and then banished the cards from the opponent's deck the entire time and then deck out them.
Like
but,
Runic, for example.
Yeah, but you can just attack over them. That's a very easy solution to this not so huge problem, as I now realize.
Maybe you can have some equip spells that boost the defense.
Yeah.
Something,
Sure enough, but Lorenz so far still confident in his ability to maybe still make it happen. Sends the Dragon that was the Dogma to the graveyard there for the Fawn and the Virtuous. And I mean, Lorenz, nope, is just picking up the cards. That does make sense. No way to deal with the Liga Dancer. I told you this is what this deck is all about. You need to get to this card if you want to win. Christofer got to this card right now in this game, and this was his ticket to game number 3.
Lorenz would have preferred a slow Walzer, but instead it was the heavy Salsa thrown onto the featured match table. And as soon as Liga Dancer lies on the field, this is game over for most decks, unfortunately.
I'm curious how you got the salsa, because for me, Liga Dancer really gives me that breakdance vibe, really. Like,
really? I mean, Kewl Tunes would really enable breakdancing, no?
Ooh, you're right, you're right.
I think we should hit the stream later with some of our breakdance rap combinations that we like to do privately.
I can present the bone party dance again.
Oh, yeah. let's maybe talk about the matchup a little bit more. Right? So with Lunar Light matchups, it's the same for every deck. Do you have an out to the Liga Dancer or do you not? If you do not have an out, any out to Liga Dancer in your deck, maybe you should reconsider your deck building choices, because this card is actually a force to be reckoned with. Lunar Light is always in the format.
It's a factor.
It was incredible at the World Championships. People have not stopped playing it. People like Johannes Bauer, who are like prodigies of the deck. They've been winning tournaments left and right. And I feel like every deck needs to have an answer for Liga Dancer. So what is it going to be?
I mean, for me, the answer in the Kewl Tune deck is not especially in an answer to the Liga Dancer, but before you want to prevent it from happening, from getting onto the table. And I think, I see your face, but I think that this is something which is reasonable, considering the fact that you play literally 18 to 20 hand and interactions. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I think that's the lazy answer.
No, it's probably the correct answer, though. I gotta agree. I think sometimes you just that's your deck. You can't really change it. Like, that's how you have built your deck, and that's what the whole point of the deck is, that you're running all those hand interruptions. So for this one matchup, you can't just throw away your game plan that you have for the tournament.
Side stuff at least.
No, but the problem is that you rely on your normal summon in Kewl Tune, and if you special summon a Lava Golem, you cannot do that. If you Kaiju, this is only one, and they often special summon twice.
Yeah, there's probably a way to bounce monsters, right?
You know what?
How do you...
There surely is a way to get back into this match as players are ready, so let's not waste any more time with that discussion, but instead go over to the table again for game number 3. Is there ever the chance that Lorenz was so confused by Christofer's move in game 2 that he sent him first, that he's now questioning himself to maybe go second as well? Surely not, right?
I thought the same thing.
No, never doing that.
He's too cool for that.
For the third time of this duel, Lorenz is going to go first, which is something that we usually don't see.
I mean, game 1, Christofer went first.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, but there is the Molchami Fuvalos. Finally something maybe on Christofer's side to lower what the Kewl Tune deck can do here. That should lower the output of the deck significantly.
Totally, absolutely. And I mean, this is pretty hard, to be honest, because you cannot really do a half field. You can do a remix or something like that,
honestly,
but that's not enough.
Your entire field is a half field. Let's be honest. You end on 2 synchro monsters.
That's hard. That's very hard.
I mean, they're lowering the volumes a lot there, though.
I mean, that's why you are able to play so many fantastic hand interactions, right? Because your deck does not have that much engine, so it plays a little bit like a deck that I love so much, the Salamangreat deck, right?
We're trying to fixing.
Don't put up the craziest field.
Now you're comparing apples to bananas, Bo. Salamangreat is not a synchro deck at all, my friends.
Which one is the banana?
Well, you can choose.
Okay.
But okay, we have now given the first draw, of course, with our first synchro summon, and I'm not sure. I think.
It's gonna be a second draw.
that
this is a
card
very good card. Yeah, the Naturia Woes Rip, which is not only for New Light, but also for something like Radiant Typhoon, of course.
I mean, it only makes sense, right? Last time we've been here in Dortmund for that YCS in 2023, Rika was the deck that took it all down at the end, and that card, of course, was also in the side deck there very often, so only fair that it returns.
But there's one card in the format that I love just so much. Fallen the Virtuous. It's such a flexible card, and it's an immediate out to cards like this. Usually before this incredibly flexible card. Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, Dominus Impulse is being used here, so he could have maybe prevented the Rose Whip, actually, but...
Did not want to.
But maybe Christofer didn't expect the Rose Whip, or maybe he had something like an out, like the Fallen Virtues, like you said just before. The problem is that you can only activate one spell and trap, so if you negate it with RS...
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, you cannot do anything against it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the RS is not on the field yet.
No, because we had the Impulse, which is such a good card.
Really, really strong play by Christofer. That is a heavy polymerization. Resolve that!
Only allowed to activate one spell and trap card per turn, but if the one is a heavy polymerization, I think you're quite fine as Liger Dancer hits the field once again.
Hey, put the materials in the back first, yeah?
Yep.
I mean, he was very excited to play this card, and it is such a good card. I think it might just be it, because as we just said, we want to prevent the opponent from special summoning the Liger Dancer.
How easy was that, Barcode? How easy was that, huh?
I mean, bro, I did not expect that, to be honest. Heavy polymerization.
What's the best card in the deck you didn't expect?
Yeah, such a good card. Such a good card. On top of that, the Impulse. The Impulse, we did not talk about that, but I think this is one of the best cards of the tournament, and being able to play it in something like Lunalight, I mean, it gives some edge to the deck in this format.
Bye, field.
Wow.
Christofer has done it, and basically just any normal summon next to this would do it now already. Foolish Burial certainly can get a monster onto the field eventually.
And now we can activate more spell cards now. Silver out is gonna get us something out. Lorenz says, yep, go ahead. Gold Leo summoned out. Effect Veiler negates the Gold Leo, okay.
Maybe another Fallen the Virtuous. Okay, no answer. No, Christofer's like, I could just go Battle Phase here, and that is all it takes! 2 attacks from a Liger Dancer next to the attack of Gold Leo is easy math, more than 8,000 life points damage. So, Christofer with the comeback, making that smart move, that unexpected move in game 2 to go second, capitalizing, being able to just go in with that Liger Dancer. And now, first card activated. Game 1, he worked so hard to get to a Liger Dancer, and game 3, it only took him 1 card to actually get the Liger Dancer onto the field.
How easy was it to stop the Liger Dancer from hitting the field? Right now, I really like that, because in game 1, he started, got hand trapped, and then realized, okay, my opponent's running a lot of hand traps with 5 cards. Sometimes I might not be able to go through this, but with 6 cards, I might have the chance to win that game. But of course, this is not our only featured match. We can go right over to the backup feature.
What do we have here? Okay, we have our most represented deck, finally, with Draco Tail branded on the top in David's hand. And then we have Sylvain with Fire King. Okay, I mean,
Jurak Fire King.
That deck has some... Oh yeah, we see the Jurak cards as well, true. That deck definitely has some YCS history at this point as well, of course, with it claiming a YCS title in the hands of Din Kabui, but still clearly a factor in the metagame.
You know what? Fire King was my favorite iteration of Snake Eye before we had Poplar. I loved that deck. That was so cool.
It was very, very cool. That reminds me of the UDS Invitational, where Jesse Cotton played that deck and played it, I think, all the way to first place, right? Yeah, he won the thing, so yeah, that must have been that.
That's very interesting to see some Fire King in this metagame, to be honest. Not the best deck, but still a very interesting deck. And if you are very good with the interactions, the small interactions with your opponent, you can just little by little win the entire game. Here we see that it is 1-1 between David and Sylvain. So will Sylvain give the victory to Fire King? That is the question. We see some Rally, by the way.
It's looking really, really good for Sylvain right now, at least in terms of card advantage. The question is,
This is it. This is it. The victory for Fire King right here. Maybe going into the final. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe another victory for Fire King strategy.
Chill.
Yeah, I'm a bit in the future. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But no, that was very interesting to see some Kewl Tune in the first duel. To be honest, I was excited to see this strategy. It didn't go well for the Kewl Tune strategy because we saw some of the weaknesses. The fact that your end field, yeah, that's right.
It's small.
It's so small. That's great. It's pretty small, and you have to back it up with some hand interactions.
No hate, I like small fields. I'm just saying you need to be prepared for Liga Dancer if you don't put up the biggest field in the world.
We are prepared. We are prepared with some hand interactions.
Stop coping. Basti, you take over.
We tried.
No, it was a fun match to watch nevertheless, though, right? Because it really felt like Kewl Tune was coming super close to actually winning the thing, especially after that first game that they were looking real good, even going second. But then, of course, came 2 and 3, whole lot of a different story. But is there a way... Like if that impulse would have not been there, we would have had the negate for the heavy polymerization, and that probably would have been what it takes to win the first game.
That was the plan,
well.
and I think that the impulse literally just won the game on the spot. It was very well played from the Lunalite player, and I think that the move to go second during the second game was absolutely crucial because we saw in the opponent's hand that there was a Nibiru as well as a Fuvalos. And you know that with the Fuvalos, you have to special summon quite a lot from the deck and the extra deck, and therefore you make your opponent draw a lot of cards. So with the Ghost Bell, the Ash Blossom, the Veilers, and on top of that a Nibiru, it would have probably been game for Kewl Tune.
I mean,
so
probably, maybe, but we're going to get some concrete answers here from our analysis corner as we have the winner from our featured match here, our Lunalite player, of course, Christofer, together with Mike. So Mike, please take it over.
Hello everyone, I'm here with Christofer. Congratulations first of all for the win.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to win in a feature match?
It's my first feature match, my very first, and I got to win it. I'm really excited, I'm really happy. It's just, I can't believe it happened.
Can you tell us about your deck choice?
Oh yeah, so what I play is branded Lunalite. I just think that Lunalite's a very good deck right now in the format, and I just like the branded cards.
And it is like a good option, a good strategy in order to counter the meta right now.
Oh yeah, I think so. It's a very good strategy.
Okay, I see. So I would like to discuss some clips with you. First of all, in the first game, so we see Lorenz activating Delta into polymerization, later Bell into Martin. Can you tell us how you felt about that time and passing with this field?
Oh, it was definitely heartbreaking because I'm trying to work around the Lunalite, the Lunalite lock on the specific Kaleido chick, and it's just at the moment that he built the Martin, I feel that all hope was lost. But yeah.
And I thought that like Delta was quite an option that you didn't expect, right?
Oh yeah, definitely didn't expect it. It was something very new.
But as we can show that you managed to eventually win the match, so it's okay.
Yeah. I did try, yeah.
For the second clip, I would like to discuss this sequence that Kewl Tune RS was activated to negate the Lunalite fusion. And I think that that was the last option for you two on this game. Is there any other play that you could make here, or it was just your end move?
I think I probably misplayed that game. I should have not sent the Leo Dancer so early. If I had to hold it, I could have sent it here. And now the Kaleido chick is treated as Leo Dancer. I could have summoned a Liger with my other polymerization in hand. It was just a misplay.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal to make some wrong moves in the feature because you are nervous and all the feelings are there, right?
Yeah, it's my very first feature match, so I was feeling a lot of stuff.
I mean, it's totally understandable. However, as we can see in Game 2 that things are starting to change, we see how impactful heavy polymerization is in your deck. And I think that when you activate it both times, it was the key card that gave you the win. Can you tell us more about this?
So Heavy Poly is just a very good card for Lunalite because it bypasses all the restrictions that I need a specific extra deck monster for the deck. And the part about paying life voice sense cost, it's sometimes very dangerous against certain decks, but definitely against Killer Turn, I can almost freely activate it.
And as we can see this sequence, you activated heavy polymerization. It was answered by Kewl Tune RS to negate one face-up card on the field.
That is correct.
However, you have the Fallen of the Virtuous to destroy the heavy polymerization, and since it is not on the field, you can just fusion summon.
That is correct, yeah.
That was a perfect play for yours. So we can see that you started thinking straight and do the right moves, right?
Yeah. After siding, I definitely felt it was more under my control then.
From things that are not very under control, did you expect it here that Naturia Rose Whip is going to be special summoned?
Oh, definitely not. That was very new. That's the first time I saw that card in this deck specifically.
How did it feel to have to address such a card?
It was really scary because this just means that I can't use all of my powerful spell cards. But luckily enough, I did draw the heavy poly, so I just needed one card to solve all the board problems.
Speaking of this play, I think this is the play that you actually mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think, again, heavy polymerization is the key card of your deck in order to summon the Lager Dancer. I think this is the end goal of your strategy, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so congratulations again, Christofer.
Thank you very much
for being here. Congratulations again for the win. Best of luck to the rest of the tournament. And I hope that we can talk again in this match.
I really wish we could talk again. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for watching. We had Christofer here. So stay tuned because we are coming back for more Yu-Gi-Oh action.